asked my friends at ByBenji to join me today, and the reason being is part of what we do at Frank and Jellies, as all of you know, is we do testing of dog products, and part of that is all natural treats and things that are healthy to be giving our dogs. And the reason I asked ByBenji to come is because I was just absolutely astounded by the difference in Frank just from simple like these treats. And obviously he's had a lot of access to a lot of good yummy treats. So I've asked Roz, hi Roz, to come join me from the ByBenji team just to kind of have a quick chat about Biltong. Like many of us would have heard of Biltong being a South African delicacy. ByBenji are the first to bring it into the UK market for our dogs. So I just thought we'd just have a really quick chat kind of so people understand why these are so good for their dogs. If anybody would like any more information, just head to store.frankandjellies.com/treats and you can find ByBenji and all of the other amazing healthy treats that we recommend. But we're here to talk about ByBenji. So Roz, tell us a little bit about the story behind ByBenji. So what made you guys take that jump from South African Biltong for the humans and bring it into the dog space?
Well, it is firstly, thanks for having us here. We're really excited to spread the story simply because, I mean, about 3 years ago, most people, if you just said Biltong, you more or less have to tell them about it. But nowadays, Biltong is a word that's coming into the market, and a lot of crossover products are out there. But the important thing about this is that I say human Biltong, it's not made out of human, but human Biltong in the human market is not dog friendly. It's got chilies, it's got spices, but it is actually pure meat. And I think the attraction between pure meat and a meat treat, it's very easy to think you can just give that to dogs. But the mad South African who came up with this idea 3 years ago, and obviously it's a South African traditional treat. That's the difference. It is a human Biltong South African product. But the human who came up with this idea decided, let's see how we can adapt it and bring it into the pet world. The difference is the herbs. We don't use all those things that are not dog friendly. We just use the herbs. The beautiful thing about it is that we have just one ingredient and many ways to use it. And I think the difference, as you can tell, is that it's the aroma, and it's the one secret is the marinating. I think most people probably, hear about jerky, beef jerky. That's quite a normal thing. It is. People know beef jerky, but Biltong, the one difference is it's marinated. And so the marinated story is that it's marinated, it takes on that intense flavour. Imagine if you're in your own kitchen and you've got a piece of meat. There's the meat. If you marinate that meat, it's obviously going to take on those flavours. And the history behind Biltong was that Biltong, in the heat of South Africa, wanted to be preserved. So they would use the salt, they would use all those things to preserve it, and they would just dry it in the wind, marinate it and dry it in the wind and warmth. That's something you'll hear, that it's wind and warmth. The difference between us and other meat treats, it's not direct heat, it's the heat that's rotated around it, and that's when you get that intensified flavour, the marinating and the rotated heat. So what dogs smell, I mean, we all know that dogs have their noses smell far more intensely than ours, and therefore that's the reason they're attracted to it. There's a focus, there's an attention, and they go wild for it, and they will basically do anything for it. We want to spread that story, bring it into the pet world, and thankfully the dogs are saying yes.
So, Roz, for anybody who hasn't come across Biltong before and actually is hearing this for the first time, if we take it back a step, so absolutely. What's Biltong made of, and how is it made?
Yeah, the word Biltong itself means strip of meat. But our Biltong is made from pure silverside beef. And that's the difference again. We only use top quality premium. It comes straight from Smithfield Market. So therefore it's human grade beef. People often open the bag and think I can eat it themselves. You probably can. We can't technically say you can eat it. It's the DEFRA trading standard story between the two. But under DEFRA, we are the UK's very first, and we're very proud about that, DEFRA approved, and it's pure silverside of beef. And the cut is premium. There's no fat, there's no gristle, there's no sinews. It's pure muscle meat, and that's something which is also very buzzed in positive snacking. Muscle meat, pure protein.
So you to get this silverside of beef from Smithfield Market, which is one of London's best meat markets. Absolutely. And what do you do with it then?
It comes straight to HQ, and our butcher cuts it into strips. Now that's the amazing thing. It takes 2 kg of beef to shrink down to make Biltong. Actually, I haven't got the figures in front of me. Sure that Richard will be able to tell you all the different with that. But you actually marinate it in the vinegar and the herbs. It's then hung up to dry and heat is rotated around in the ByBenji Biltong box. It's a great big sort of container, and the air rotates around it. The beef will then hang and dry. We then cut it into strips, which is about 10 centimetres long. From those strips, you can cut into bite size. Now, one strip of biltong is 20 calories, and therefore one bite of biltong will be about 2 calories, so you can see how healthy it is for the dog. We also mince and marinate it to make what the South Africans call a drillbus, which is a sausage. Now, that sausage is a fantastic thing, because if I tell you about the different ways that you can use it, obviously the training treats are treat size, so they're instant to go, ready to go for training. The sticks actually are quite versatile. You can grate them, you can hang on to them and put them, and dogs actually nibble at them. It's a great way for them to help with their denture, their denture cleaning regime, because actually they will nibble and chew at it, and then and they start to salivate. So it's great for their gums and their dental regime. Also, you can crumble it. The sausage particularly is a great texture. You can sprinkle it over. Now, going back to that marinating process, Sarah, when I said it was marinated in herbs, when we did a test, the meat shrinks and the herbs used to fall into trays below. We just get rid of it. But what we did do is save some of it in a jar. And often when we were at stands and we were at stores and we get the dogs would smell and go wild at it. We were at one of the shows in the KC Kennel Club, and one of them said, "Do you know what, guys? You ought to make a topper." We all looked at each other. I mean, a top, we'd never heard of the phrase, but a topper, probably a lot of you guys know, is an incentivizer that you sprinkle over food bowl, and dogs who are a little less poorly or a bit fussy eaters will get encouraged to eat. So we tested it. So now we have product 4 out there, which is the Biltong topper, and you just sprinkle a little pinch over the beef, over their food rather, and wow, it just jazzes up things. So we have the treats, the sticks and the sausage, and now we have the topper. So we've got 4 products out there.
I have to say, so for me, the training treats, like I always say this to people, that the training for your dog doesn't stop when they are no longer puppies. And the big thing that I'm like a big supporter of is taking treats out on a walk. So I always have treats out on a walk, and I always try and encourage Frank and Lulu to practice their recall on a number of occasions. And I have to say, and if anybody is a member of the Frank and Joe's Dog Product Review group that's watching this, you will see the amount of dogs who usually don't come back for anything on recall, and like once they've tried it a couple of times, like I literally just have to shake the bag at Frank from a distance, and he's like that.
Yeah, they recognise it. We shake the bag. The dogs have been known to react to the shake of the bag, and that's a brilliant thing. I mean, I think one of the biggest things for us is the reaction we've had from people. Particularly, also we work alongside charities such as All Dogs Matter, and we know that traumatised dogs who are very shy will come towards a smell. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about having a really intense flavour and aroma. The dogs will react to it. So it's a fabulous for us to hear that feedback too. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic product. And like I said, I really like the fact that you've taken all things into consideration. So you've got the training treats, and you said they're about 2 calories a bite. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
So if anybody watched our previous video, we actually did a piece with Rory the vet where he said about that you need to work out the number of calories your dog should be having a day. It's your dog's weight times 30 plus 70 is the number of calories, resting calories, if you're not exercising. So that's really good if you think about, like I said, that recall work that you could be doing out on every single dog walk. So yeah, that's really interesting to know it's only 2 calories. I feel a little bit less guilty now for practicing so much with them both. So what are you guys doing in the next couple? What are your plans? Obviously, we're taking the UK by storm in terms of ByBenji. The dogs are all going absolutely bonkers. You guys are going to Cross for the first year this year, aren't you?
Oh, it feels like we've been there before. I have to say, we've had some fantastic support from some of our suppliers who've been there and have kept it on their stand and sort of treated the visitors who've visited them when they're there. So we feel like we've been there before. But no, we are debuting this year. It's really exciting. We'll be in Hall 2, stand 124, or shall I say 1? It could be 142, but I'll double check on that. I think it's one for two. And the exciting thing about it is that we get the chance to actually meet the customers and meet the clients and see the reaction. The biggest thing for us, the biggest buzz for us, is spreading the word, but seeing the reaction from people who are absolutely astonished by the reactions that you can have from a pure meat treat, just the one ingredient treat. That's the most. The message is that there's no nasties in it.
No, absolutely human grade, as you said. So one quick question for dogs who may have sensitivities is what kind of herbs do you put in when you're marinating? You might not be able to give us the full stuff, but what kind of herbs do you use?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's parsley, thyme, rosemary. Parsley, rosemary, no thyme. That's the phrase. But also the thing is the vinegar, and that combination is that if I could tell you everything that's in it, but the vinegar is the one that really emulsifies and intensifies. Yeah, and it's the length as well, and you really have to soak. It's there. It's a long process, but listen, it's worth it. That's the point. Yeah.
So how long does it take then? So just give us a little behind the scenes from the moment you get that love. When the moment you get that lovely piece of meat from Smithfield's Market, how long does it take you guys from having that piece of meat to arriving in those beautiful little bags that you have?
It's a 48-hour process. Yeah, it's a 48-hour process. So there are 4 processes. If you imagine, we've got the butchering process. While that's butchering, we've got stuff marinating. While that's marinating, we've got stuff hanging. While we've got stuff hanging, we've got people chopping. While we're chopping, we've got people bagging. So it's a rotation of a process, constant process. Yeah.
Amazing. And you guys have invited me to come down, so I'm really, really excited. I will be coming to the HQ.
We would love to have you. Absolutely.
I will do, but I promise I won't bring Frank and Lulu because otherwise I don't think you'll have any stock left.
Funniest thing, Sarah, I must tell you, outside BBHQ, when we're standing outside, there'll be people who are dog walking, and their dogs will be dragging their owners through the front. It's very funny. They're just on a happy dog walk. We see the dogs dragging the owners across the street. So, yeah, very funny. Of more than welcome to bring you.
I'll make sure I get that on film. I look forward to coming to see you guys.
Realise that he was dragging.
Yeah, no, Frank would be dragging me straight into the building. Guys, if you want any more information about the ByBenji, it is a reviewed and approved product from the Frank and Jelly's Doggy Detectives. You can find it on our website, www.frankandjellies.com. Thank you so much, Roz, for coming in to join us and tell us all about the ByBenjis. And we've also got more amazing videos that we will be sharing with you just to show you some of those doggies that normally have really poor recall. You want to show you them coming running for their special ByBenji treat. So thank you so much for that, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. All right then, Roz, we'll speak to you soon.
Bye now. Bye.